Hi, everybody. This is Milyssa Leigh. I want to welcome you all to my first video podcast. Yes, I am a crossdresser. I'm not transgendered. I am perfectly comfortable with both my masculine and feminine sides. But ever since I was 6 years old, I always felt that there was something different about me. I always felt attracted to the feminine, or I felt I should have been born a girl. And yet I still live perfectly fine as a boy as well. When I was in high school, I started experimenting a little bit with cross-dressing, and I didn't understand it at the time. I kept feeling like, should I be fully transgender? Should I go through a change? Should I express that side of myself? Was I gay? I don't really know. It was a very confusing time, and I suppressed it for a lot of years. Then, over about 23 years ago, when I moved out here from New Jersey, I just gotten divorced. And the person I was with at the time was knowledgeable about my feelings and open with helping me to explore this. So I dressed for a couple of years and went full on in, dressing whenever I could, and even was brave enough to go out to New York City and go to some clubs. I even joined a cross-dressing support group, Tri-S, and went to many meetings, but I felt like I didn't really need counseling or the support that others did. I felt very perfectly comfortable in my skin. And then when that relationship ended and I met my wife, she knew I did this. And yet, when we got together, I started putting it away. I felt like I was going through my own spiritual transformation. And one of the things I needed to do at the time was balance out the masculine and feminine sides of myself. I had not let the feminine side out in a very long time. I was not very comfortable with my masculine self. So I didn't know what to do. And then when I got together with my soon to be wife, I put this away. I told myself that I had balanced out everything that was inside of me, and I was perfectly comfortable exploring my masculine self again. And I did that for over 20 years. Now, I've mentioned in the past in other podcasts that my wife passed away this last December from a stroke. A very tragic time. And going through all the grief and exploring where I'm going to go from here, I started to realize these feelings started creeping back in. And I honestly thought I had put them away and they were done. I was done with them in my life. I did not need to express my feminine side anymore. And I was going to the gym, working out, gaining some muscles, first time in my life. And I was comfortable with who I am. And yet, all of a sudden, this started coming back out. So I started experimenting. And the more I experimented, the more I slipped right back into it. And now here I am as Milyssa Leigh. This is my female persona. And I honestly feel this is a spiritual experience. There's something within inside of us that some of us anyway, feel that need to express that feminine side of ourselves. Even if we're heterosexual male, we have our masculine side. I'm masculine 99% of the time. I do this once in a while. And yet, here I am with a new wig, by the way, and I really like my look for my age. Um, I just turned 59. I feel like I lost a lot of years in learning how to express myself as Milyssa, and yet I don't regret it. I feel like I'm on a new journey in my life. I'm on a new phase in my life, and I think this is going to be a part of it moving forward. I want to address what's going on in the world right now. There seems to be a lot of backlash against the LGBTQ community, the transgender community, and I wanted to clarify my own thoughts on it. First and foremost, I obviously absolutely support the LGBTQ community. I support uh, cross-dressers. I support transgendered people. I like a good drag show as much as anybody, but I do feel things have gone way overboard when it comes to children, which is what they're teaching in schools. I think they're confusing the hell out of younger kids, and they really need to be talking to people when they're older. Uh, so allowing kids to transition at such a young age, I'm totally against, because I know how I was at that age. Was confused. I didn't know what I was. If I would have went through a major surgery and then realized I wasn't transgendered, that could have ruined my life. I think these kids need to learn and to explore before they start making any radical decisions in their lives. Maybe from 16 to 17 onwards, which is technically pretty adult. I don't believe 18 is a cutoff, but definitely nothing less than 16 to let somebody express themselves and be who they want to be. And then when they turn 18, if they do decide they want the reassignment surgery, they can have it. But we got to stop sexualizing kids. Let them be kids. I know they want to try to teach everybody to be all inclusive and accept the transgender community and people's choices. It's fine, but everything in moderation. Too much excess of anything is not a good idea. I don't like the ultra religious rights views coming in and clamping everything down and the big backlash, because these few extremists have made the rest of us look bad. I know people will look at me and be totally against it. If my family saw this, they would be absolutely shocked. I've accepted that, and they may someday find out. I don't intend to quite hide it. I'm not going out and advertising it, at least not to my family. I'm going to be me. I'm going to express myself how I am. And I feel good about me. And I believe this is part of my spiritual journey, is incorporating the balancing out of the masculine and feminine. I did a shamanic journey many years ago, and the memory sticks with me of I found myself in the Akashic records, and I wound up in front of this very small little shelf that had all of my lifetimes. And I pulled two scrolls. The first scroll, I was a man of power. I was actually a Roman emperor in a past life. Nobody big, nobody famous, but it was a man of power, something very, very masculine. And then I pulled the second scroll, and that second scroll was of a lady in waiting during the medieval times, a woman of servitude. And again, it's showing the lesson that I was learning there was about balance, about living the extremes in these lifetimes, and learning how to incorporate all of that into the totality of our experience. I believe in reincarnation. I believe we live many, many lifetimes. I believe I've been a female in many lifetimes, just as I've been a male. I did do a past life regression where I was a young woman in the 1800s in Boston. I was actually able to find myself and find who I was during that time period. So it's a very, very interesting concept. It's a very interesting feeling exploring this again, being this way, feeling good about yourself. I've got the age thing going on here that I'm not happy about. I got bags under my eyes I'm trying to work on. Um, but I think I've aged appropriately. And I don't think I look ridiculous. I've seen some cross dressers who shouldn't be cross dressing, but you know what? That's my opinion. Everybody's entitled to express themselves in any way they see fit, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. I like who I am in this persona, and I will move forward with it. And if I can help others who are in a similar situation feel that way, I have a very good friend, Lisa, who suffers from gender dysphoria. And I feel so bad for her because she's in a position in her job that she has to be male all the time. She gets to dress on weekends and she wants to be a woman full time and she can't. And she won't allow herself to be because of her situation and what's going on. So she has a lot of things to work out. And we talk a lot and I try to help her. Um, I share this with her too, to show that you can express yourself. You can find ways of doing it and not being afraid. Like I said, when I went to go buy this wig this weekend, I went into the wig shop and I was confident. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't nervous. The girl asked me what it was for. I said it was for a costume, but it turns out she knew exactly what it was for. And I picked out the wig and we went into a back room. She tried it on. She showed me how to style it. It was beautiful. And I'm a natural redhead, so wearing red is my color. It's how I look and feel, and it's the true me. I'm extremely happy with this. And I want to learn more moving forward. Now, people who know the real me know how very spiritual I am. I have learned a lot in shamanic training. I do tarot readings. I work psychically with people and doing healings and trying to expand spiritual awareness. And I'll do it in my male persona, but I'll do it in my female persona too, for those that would accept it. I just really am happy that I'm able to experience this part of my life. I miss my wife terribly. I loved her more than anything. I know she loved me. She never judged me for this part of me. I chose to give it up for her and be her husband and not have to go through and express all that. Because again, I convinced myself that I had balanced everything out. But now with her gone, I'm finding myself in a unique position that I'm free to do a lot of things that I had put aside in my life. Not just the dressing, it's other things, that hobbies and creative endeavors that I wanted to do, and to be who I am in so many different ways, spiritually as well. I concentrated these last several years on our marriage because we had a rocky time for a while, and I wanted to be there for her and be there to be a good husband. And now that that time is over, till death do us part, we've parted, and she has gone on to that big journey. I wish I could hear from her. I still hope to have a visitation someday. I will always love her. And yet now I know I have 20, 30 more years left to my life. I feel that in my bones. I don't think anything, I'm going to get sick or an accident. That could change. God has different plans for all of us. I think this is part of the plan, though, is to be here and to discuss this. And I'm going to try to maybe do this on a more weekly basis. I'm going to have my YouTube channel going. I'll take questions from people. Anybody who wants to ask questions and talk with me, I'll be glad to help and share my experiences. Am I an expert on this? No, there are people who've been doing this so much longer than me. And I don't pretend to be completely involved in the LGBTQ community. I have been on the fringe for a very long time, and I'm learning. I'm still learning, but I'm enjoying this learning, and I'm looking forward to what the years ahead are going to provide and the opportunities that may come up. And I hope you'll join me on this quest. There's many different things, many different topics I'd like to talk about. Everything from makeup, clothes selection, how to dress, how to be comfortable in your own body, how to be you. I know a lot of cross-dressers do this for the sexual thrill. I'm different in that aspect. I am not getting a sexual thrill from this. I'm expressing my true self by doing this, a part of my true self. Again, as I mentioned, perfectly comfortable with my masculine side. And I don't feel the need to dress like this every day. But I will continue to dress more often, try new outfits, try new different things, and see where life takes me. So I think that's it for now. I want to thank you all for tuning in to my very first video. And hopefully we can go on this journey together. But thank you very much, and you all take care.